Statistical Investigation by Jessica Tripodi. What is the difference in average hours of sleep for Year 7 boys and Year 7 girls in Australia? I got my data from the 2014 ABS Census at School data collection. The year level I chose was Year 7 and the two categories I chose were sex and hours of sleep. I chose a sample size of 60, big enough to compare the data from each group as well as find patterns to help answer my investigation question. Once the data was chosen from the website, it was downloaded in an Excel file. The data was given in whole numbers of hours slept. Immediately I arranged the data in ascending order for each comparison group, allowing for the spread of data to be seen. I cleaned the data of all obvious areas and ended up with a sample size of 51. Stem and leaf plots can be used to represent your data in a more informative way. It arranges your data so you can see the frequency of numbers in your data, see the spread of your data and begin to see patterns in your data set. In both stem and leaf plots, the most frequent numbers appeared to be 600 minutes for girls and 540 minutes and 600 minutes for boys. Dot plots show the spread of data in your investigation. Each individual value in the data is represented by a dot, but the use of dot plots is not very informative of any other trends in your data. The dot plot I created shows similar things to what the stem and leaf plot showed, but is not very informative. Double column graphs display two sets of data in one graph. It displays each set of data side by side so it's easy to make comparisons between the two groups of data. In the double column graph I created, you can see there is very little difference between the two groups. It was a great visual representation of what my data looks like beside each other. Sector graphs show each individual value that contributes to the total number for that particular group of data. Sector graphs would be more visually pleasing and less cluttered if each individual was not shown. The two sector graphs I created clearly show the girls' sector graph has more individual values in it than the boys' graph. The measures are centre, the mean, median and mode. The measure of spread is known as the range and is determined by knowing the minimum and maximum numbers of each comparative group of data, or the data as a whole. The mean is the average value, the median is the middle value, and the mode is the most frequently occurring number, and the range is the difference between the highest and lowest numbers in the data. The results are, on average, Year 7 boys have a higher average amount of sleep each night than Year 7 girls in Australia. The Year 7 boys slept 17 minutes more than Year 7 girls each night. However, this result, although accurate in this investigation, is not reliable enough to accurately represent the whole sleeping habits of all Year 7 boys and Year 7 girls in Australia. My data was skewed and only a very small sample of students in Australia. It does not consider other factors that may affect the sleeping habits of Year 7 students. It is also important to consider that students' meaning of what sleep actually is would affect the results of their answers. The data that was represented in tables and graphs show that Year 7 boys and Year 7 girls had very similar sleeping habits. To apply this data in real life would require a much bigger sample that is more representative of the population of Year 7 boys and Year 7 girls in Australia. The larger sample size would produce a more accurate result of the average hours of sleep that Year 7 boys and Year 7 girls get each night in Australia.
Created using Powtoon.